Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon Gibson.
Hey everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are with us tonight, and we got Uncle Robbie back.
Robbie!
Welcome
what's
back,
this
Rob.
uncle stuff?
I don't know, it's
Where'd
stuck.
that come from?
I think we're going to start calling him Robbie Shanker.
Robbie Shanker.
No,
That
we
name's
won't.
already
We won't.
taken.
We won't. We'll just stick with Uncle Rob.
Oh, I'm not,
All right.
I'm not happy about that.
He's a monkey's uncle.
Hey, everybody, we've got a fantastic show tonight. I guarantee that. I guarantee. We have one of our esteemed.
Steamed or esteemed?
Esteemed. We've got somebody who's
I
steamed.
hope he's not steamed.
But this one's esteemed.
I'm steamed.
Yes. Esteemed Poohbah, who might you be?
Tommi Manasco.
Tommi Manasco!
Tommy! Followers of the show have heard that name quite a few times. Tommy is a gear nut and a supreme enthusiast of the guitar community and an fantastic supporter of our show, and we are so grateful to him. But we want to find out about his guitar world and why he's so jacked up about guitar gear and all that good stuff. We are going to have a lovely time together tonight, wherever, morning, whatever. It's going to be fun.
You can stream it anytime.
You can stream it anytime you dang old want to.
3 a.m.
If you want to.
5 a.m.
No, too late. Okay, or too early. Let's, we've got a few announcements before we start here, but Jared, what do we do on the show?
We interview a lot of builders, a lot of pedal builders, guitar builders, parts builders, like pickup people. We're going to have a pickup guy on the show pretty soon too, other than myself, which
About
is
time.
pretty refreshing.
Yeah.
And
Any bodybuilders?
probably one of the builders one of the guests may have been a bodybuilder in the past, but I cannot confirm
Arnold?
that. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he actually is into guitars. We should find out.
But one of my favorite things that we do 101 stuff, and Tony Baloney and Rob's helped us in the past with 101 stuff. I did a couple of pickup shows about that, but we also have some guest luthiers and people like that to help us with 101s. It's a lot of fun.
Correct. We also, we've got a lot of great people coming on the way. Signed up for the next several podcasts, so you're going to be excited by that for sure. And let's get into some guitar business. Yeah, we got a couple of announcements. We want to give a little shout out to Sonic Artifacts. It's a new podcast featuring the best deals in affordable vintage music equipment. Friends of our show, and you can tune in every Tuesday, and where they interview builders, musicians, techs, and producers from around the world with new episodes every Tuesday, and new interviews drop every Friday apparently. So
Well, that's very cool.
yeah, and I think the coolest factor about this is they've got a channel on Instagram, a page on Instagram, whatever. They got an Instagram account.
Presence.
And it's actually a store. So like they get really cool pieces of gear. So that's kind of where it's stemming from. It's their connection to what they're doing on Instagram. So go over and check them out.
Nice.
Sonic Artifacts on the Instagrams and elsewhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you heard on last show we did a promotion for the Spark amp, and we've got a couple more of these to do because we're giving a free one away, and I will tell you where to get that in a second.
Wait, who makes that Spark amp?
Positive Grid makes the Spark amp.
I've seen a lot of ads about those. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to highlight some of these big features, leading up to the big giveaway.
What?
Yeah, there's a big giveaway. In the Spark amp, the heart of the Spark amp is something called a tone engine. And they call this, I'm not going to ad-lib this because they did a hell of a job writing it, so we're going to share a little bit of this. It's a hyper-realistic guitar amp modeling effect. Whether you play pristine melodies, crunchy chords, or soaring leads, Spark gives you a full guitar amp modeling and multi-effects engine powered by Positive Grid's state-of-the-art Bias, B-I-A-S, with the most realistic virtual tube amps and effects on the planet.
Well, you know, Todd,
Yes, Tony.
all those big $20 words you just spouted off
Yes.
and the acronyms are really nice. I think you use your ears.
That's correct. And that's
Because
what I used when I first plugged in.
That's right. I mean, yeah, it's cool. All the technology's fun, blah, blah, blah,
I
blah.
didn't read any of this stuff.
I know.
Not because I didn't think it was any good. I just wanted to experience. So what that tone engine thing means is that it's not going to sound like a strange computer amp. It isn't a compromise. I'm going to plug in, and I know it's pleasing to the ear and makes you want to play.
You know, once you download the app, you can get all access to even more. It's pretty remarkable.
Anyways, that's the Spark Guitar Practice Amp and app. That is the icing on a delicious amp cake.
And I understand we are going to have an opportunity to pass one of these on to one of our lucky listeners.
That's right. You can sign up for your chance to win your very own Spark amp at positivegrid.com/guitar knobs. Put in a little bit of info and you're up for winning that thing, which is
Just do
awesome.
it.
Or you could just skip all that and go ahead and get one for under $300.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks very much to Spark Amp for sending that out to us and for providing the opportunity for one of our amazing listeners to win this awesome amp.
Awesome.
All right, gentlemen, let's find out what's going on in our music worlds this week. As usual, we're going to start off, and Tony's going to kick us off. Then we're going to hear from our pal Tommy.
You know, Todd, this week I'm about halfway through a really, really good book, Tales of the Road.
Good. Give us the short version of this really good book.
Okay. So the name of the book is called Waiting to Derail.
That's not a good way to start out a quick report on a book.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
The long and winding road.
Prologue. So this book is about the crazy
Rob.
times when Ryan Adams was in Whiskeytown. This is like in the 90s. And, man, from what is described, now this guy, it was
a bit of a Tasmanian devil from what I.
That's being nice.
Yeah,
that's insulting to Tasmanian devils. But anyhow, so I think the words in the stories are from Thomas O'Keefe, who wrote this with a buddy of mine, Joe Astrick, from here. Well, he used to be here in Columbus. He's played in a band called Watershed.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, Joe, the bass player.
Joe.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great writer.
Great writer.
Everybody knows Joe.
But anyhow, Joe really polished up the words, I think. So Thomas O'Keefe was, he had been a touring musician, and he got recruited to help organized the tour as a tour manager for Whiskeytown when they got their big national label sign up.
Yeah.
He had his hands full.
I can imagine.
But anyhow, it's an excellent book. Joe's writing is very easy to read. I don't usually, if I'm going to read a book, it's something about guitars or whatever. This is kind of a nonfiction, historical kind of thing, I guess, somewhat historical at this point. And what I've been doing this week, because he's mentioning all these bands that came out around the same time that I forgot about, bands like the Bottle Rockets. Obviously, well, I still listen to the Jayhawks and Uncle Tupelo, and that split off into Sunvolt and Wilco. So all these alt country bands,
country, yeah,
which was the hot thing. All the record companies were, running to sign.
We need
these
to
bands.
get some of that alt country.
We need a little alt country, and this was, I think this was really kind of the end of the record industry.
What does that say about alt country?
Well, I wouldn't blame alt country for that.
Yeah.
I think it was
some great alt country.
just a natural progression of things as it is today. But anyhow, I'm going on to Spotify, pulling up a number of these bands, and listening to stuff that I said, oh yeah, that's cool. I forgot about that one. Or the author Thomas O'Keefe liked a band called Degeneration, and I hadn't really listened to them much. So I had that up on Spotify. So I'm kind of living or reliving those early '90s days while reading the book and listening to the music. So that's what I've been doing this week.
That's awesome. I kind of feel like John Doe from X is sort of the unsung father of alt country.
Yeah, maybe.
I can see it.
I mean, I wouldn't argue with it too much.
I'm just thinking of like 4th of July,
Yeah,
like 87.
87. It's a good song.
Anyways, thank you, Tony.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob.
I kept it as brief as possible.
Rob, yes.
Well, so is Jared.
Rob's got no filter. Yeah, well, that's what
So tell us about the nothing that you have to report this week, Rob.
hang on. We got to check in with Tommy.
Oh, was Tommy next?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was signing up for this positive grid.
Hey, there you go. Good segue.
Okay, I'm done. Let's see. New gear news this week. It's gonna piss off Todd. It originally pissed off me, but I'm getting there.
You got a Strat?
I got my Strat. And before you hang up on me, I've already ruined it. So it's
really?
perfect. Yes. Never been a Strat guy. Never got along with them. Found a used Buddy Guy signature.
Ooh.
On reverb, and as you know, it's black with white polka dots.
I can support that.
Had to get it. Got rid of the maple neck. Put a rosewood neck with a matching black headstock on it. Got rid of all the electronics and put a single humbucker with a kill switch.
There you go.
And reshaped it into a telly.
I was going to say that is almost as far away from a Strat as you can get.
Exactly, and I think that's the only reason I'm going to keep it.
Nice.
Strats are cool.
Yeah. No, they
How does
are.
the
It's just
humbucker
me.
sound?
I don't like playing them. That's it.
How does it sound with the humbucker?
It sounds good. I think I want to put a little lower output humbucker in it. It's currently it's got a 59 in it because I had one laying around. And I think I want to bring it down a little bit so it'll work better with some fuzz.
Oh, okay.
I get that.
Did you put an F-spaced humbucker in, or just a standard, Gibson?
I
space?
threw in what I had, and
okay.
I'm deaf in one ear, and it sounds fine.
Well, there you go.
Good enough.
It's good enough for rock and roll, right?
As long as the magnetic bloom hits all the strings, you're fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why hasn't anybody used that for a band name? That's a good band name,
Magnetic Bloom.
Yeah.
Check.
Ooh,
Somebody
like
out
that.
there might have.
It's not bad. It's a good
It's
name.
not.
Yeah.
Better than Whiskey Town, I guess.
Way better.
Oh dear. Well, anyways, Tommy, thank you for sharing that. Hopefully, you got that at a pretty good price.
I did.
Awesome. That's worth it then.
Super cheap.
Nice.
Yep. Indeed. Rob, how about yourself?
Oh, sorry. I was just looking up to see if anybody had registered magnetic bloom yet. No, it doesn't appear to be. No.
All
It's
right.
not taken yet. So somebody. What are we talking about?
What's going on in your music world?
My music
this
world.
week?
I got a reminder why I don't post much stuff on YouTube. I'm not a big fan of YouTube overall. I get quite a few people asking why I don't post long form videos of what I do on YouTube, and there's probably about half a dozen on the YouTube channel I have up there. And are you actually registering Magnetic Bloom right now?
No.
Yeah, he is.
I'm listening.
No, he's registering.
Nice.
But anyway, so video I posted a while ago about why you need to check bias on tube amps, and particularly the Blues Junior. Somebody posted their opinion of why you don't need to bias these amps and that kind of stuff on there. And so I spent way too much time
debunking the myth.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy goes, well, in my opinion, if you just buy the same tubes that came with it, you'll never have to adjust the bias of your amp. And it was like, oh, Lord almighty. So, yeah, that was a lot of waste of time doing that. But that's my reminder of why I don't post on YouTube, because it seems like that's all it is over there. You know, the people that have little to no knowledge and fighting each other on, you
That's
know.
too bad.
I mean, like the comment stuff.
Yeah, it's comment stuff. Yeah.
You rarely read good reviews on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole, just the, and the fact, like, and like people have asked me, you know, why don't I post more stuff on there? If you look at the text, the amp text on there, they have 100,000 followers, 60,000 followers, whatever. They, how can
They
I put
have to
this
hire
nicely?
somebody to deal with that stuff.
Well, no. They do it on their own, but they're not techs. They're people that know enough to electrocute themselves, but are quirky or weird, or one's a nutball, just outright nutball. I won't mention his name, but he's way out there. But yeah, so, and those are the people that get all the clicks and everything. Then legit, there's a few legitimate, really good guys on there, and they've got like 5,000 followers, and you know, and posting great content.
Sensationalism wins every time.
That's exactly what wins over there, yeah. So anyway, so that was my music week, though. Got a reminder, don't post over there.
Yeah. Fair.
Yep.
Fair. Jared, how about yourself?
So yeah, this week I sold a guitar one that I usually would want to keep, but since it was Zach, I thought, what the heck? So I reluctantly sold it to Zach, but it had a really cool finish on it. It had a crack in the heel. Gosh, it was probably 7 or 8 years ago when I got it. I paid like hardly anything for it, under $500. I think I paid $400 for it. Had a small crack in the heel, and it was along the seam too. So when it was repaired, you can't tell it was repaired after it was refinished in Pelham Blue. And it was done a long time ago. So
It's
about
beautiful.
8 years ago.
That's the guitar that was the minute I played, I said I have to have one of these. I mean,
I just saw Zach's post on the Brandon Wound thing.
It's a
He did
beautiful
demo.
guitar.
That thing looks awesome. It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is awesome.
You should have kept it.
Yeah, I never got it out, and he loves it. He plays it, and it's just better off with him. But he actually had the finish aged out. I think he put it in the freezer, got it back out, and that's where you see all those check lines and stuff. And it looks awesome the way it does. So, and he likes showing it off in his Lifton pink lined case. So it kind of looks cool.
It's beautiful.
So
That's
it was a nice little goodbye to a great little guitar to the right guy. I would have sold it to
actually, I asked for it first.
I know, and I'm
A long time. So no, it was like 2 years ago. I said, if you ever sold that, no, but I didn't need it.
I know, but you had first refusal. You should have had first refusal.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Wow.
Jared's heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
And he even said, you know what? No, that's right. I will give it to you. And I'm like, no.
Oh, okay, so he did get first refusal.
Yeah,
okay.
he did.
Well, there you go.
Overall he did, but I did forget about it. That's true. So
It's okay.
I apologize. Yeah. So
everything worked out, and
did.
Zach's got an awesome guitar, and Jared feels good about it, and that's what matters.
Send Todd a dozen Oreos.
Yeah. All right.
6 of each.
Or chocolate.
How about you, Todd?
Well, this week I spent some time out at my buddy Chase's shop because I needed a very precise circle cut out of a large piece of plywood, and I didn't have the means to do that. And Tony, you were just about to ask me why I needed a giant circle cut out of a giant piece of plywood.
Why did you need a giant circle cut out of a giant piece of plywood?
Well, you don't have to ask me something twice. As I've done before with the Supro amp, I refaced the grill so that it kind of fit our stage presence, and all that stuff. So I did the same thing again to the extra cab that I got. So I spent the weekend doing that, and that was very satisfying.
Couldn't you have made something? Couldn't you have used a giant drill bit?
Yeah. Well, and Chase is so precise with like his wood stuff that I thought this should take like 10 minutes.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness. We also like to talk, so that was like a 2.5 hour ordeal.
He's a measure 12 times cut once guy.
But it was perfectly done, and I'm excited about it. So fortunately, I had grill cloth left over from the last one.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey,
it's like
this is
free.
easy peasy, man.
It's free.
Yeah. and I was very deaf this weekend. I mean, because now I had twice the sound coming out. Oh, it was glorious.
Now, Todd, was that for an extension cab or?
I'm sorry.
Combo?
What?
Was that for an extension cab?
Yes, I was playing the. Now I'm deaf in one ear.
Huh?
Yeah, I got a extension cab for the Supro Black Magic, so it matches it. They're identical size and shape.
Awesome.
So I put one on one side and keep or put one on the other side of the stage and keep the amp one by me.
That's great. A fellow Supro guy at heart.
Yeah, I love the way it sounds. It's good stuff.
I think you should put the amp on the opposite side so you can't touch
Yeah,
it. Can't adjust
Tony,
it.
I thought you were gonna say face them towards the back of the room.
That's been done before.
Oh yeah, a lot of people that come in with their Marshall stacks, they're like, "Sorry guys, face the wall." You know. Anyhow, cool. Let's motor on, shall we? Tony, what happens if you take some cable and run it over with a
Car. It goes.
But it also turns rather flat, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't work anymore.
Right, but you don't have to do that if you're looking for a flat cable.
I want a flat cable.
It's easy. You just go to tourgeardesigns.com.
Home of the crepe cables.
Exactly. You get them, and they're already flat. You don't waste the gas that it would take to drive over all your cables.
It's hardly worth it. Plus, they won't work anymore.
It's ridiculous.
If you drive
It
over
is
them.
very, very silly. Jared, you have a whole pile of those, don't you?
I do. I brought them all down to Nashville with me.
Yes, and you didn't have to drive over any cables with your car.
No, not this time.
Just okay, good. So you got them on tourgeardesigns.com. I suggest that if you are looking to maximize I should say minimize. I was going to say maximize the cleanliness of your board, but minimize the mess on your board.
Yes.
This is an excellent way to do it because of the small profile that they have,
Teeny tiny.
the flatness of the cable,
Great.
and the giant range of
Shapes
lengths. So
and
you don't
sizes.
you don't have cables flopping everywhere, this and the way and that way.
Do they have an S cable?
They've got S cables, they got C cables, and they have them in, I think, what did I say, 9 different lengths, 15 different, some kind of different lengths.
That's a lot of
different
variety.
lengths.
1 million
2, 3,
lengths.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different lengths. Go to tourgeardesigns.com / the guitar knobs, and you're going to get 10% off of your order. And I think you can actually put guitar knobs into the coupon code. Try that too if you forget. All right, thank you, Tour Gear Designs, for featuring our 4 on the floor. Jared?
Let me get a little bit of this.
That's a good one.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
All right, Tommi Manasco, Poohbah
Yeah.
extraordinaire. What is your 4 on the floor?
Okay, I'm sorry, but my first one is cheating, and I will explain why. My first one is a TS808.
If it's a buffer, I'm cutting you
Oh,
off.
it's not. It's
Okay.
a TS808 Tube Screamer.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
That's a
Well,
good one. I have one.
People love
but-
them.
I know, but it has to be run into my Rat, and they both have to be on at the same time.
Okay, so is the one the TS808 and number 2 is the Rat?
Well,
Or you're
If
counting
one-
that as a
if-
combo pedal?
I know I'm
You
cheating.
can do
I'm
it. No,
counting
that's
it
all
as
right.
a
You've
combo.
earned the right, my friend.
Yes,
It's okay.
it's a combo because if one's on, the other one's on.
Okay, you wouldn't run either one of them by themselves.
Not ideally, no.
Okay, so tell us about your first one, the TS.
It's just a off-the-shelf, nothing special TS808. I run it into my Rat because it smooths out the hardness of the Rat.
Aha. And how long have you had that combo worked out?
Oh, 2 years.
Okay.
I
All right,
hated I hated the way my Rat sounded, and I dove into YouTube and got way too deep and found that combination, tried it out, and was pleasantly surprised. It works perfect with the amps that I use, so
yeah.
I'm sticking with it.
Hey, stacking drives can be a very beautiful thing.
Thank goodness.
I think the bad thing about stacking drives is that you can wind up, in a padded room with your arms wrapped around yourself in a very, very tight jacket.
Yeah, once a week.
There's so many different combinations, and then once you go like, "Hey, I think this sounds pretty good," the little evil guitar player on your left goes, "Why don't you put it in front of the other one?" And then you're down a whole other rabbit hole.
There goes the next weekend.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you can shoot a weekend real quick by doing that.
Absolutely.
And is your Rat, is that a pretty old Rat, pretty new Rat?
From what I can tell, it's it's mid '90s Rat, and it has the LM
308.
308 chip installed.
Oh, nice.
I haven't played more than 3 different Rats, and I honestly can't tell the difference, but I like it.
That's
I'm sticking
good.
with it, and it still works.
It would be interesting. There's a little challenge to use. Find another one, and run them next to each other and see what the difference is. See if there's a difference.
I should do that next week.
Yeah.
As soon as I get out of the straitjacket.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what do you have for number 2?
Number 2 is going to be a unfortunate plug, but currently it's the new Fuzz pedal.
No, yeah.
We'll accept that.
I will take that.
Thank you. I was surprised to
That's
get
our
it.
first one, you guys.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Great. I was surprised to get it. Threw it on the board. Wasn't sure what I was expecting, and it's staying.
Awesome. I love it. How do you run it? Low or high?
I run it probably about a third of the way up,
Cool.
and I just with the crunch channel of the Supro that I play through, it gives me what I need.
I would highly recommend going down another drive stack there. See what any different drives sound so completely unique in front of that. I'm currently doing like 3 different drives and trying to figure out which one I'm most falling in love with, which combination. One of which is the Hello Sailor. The Kossoff drive in front of that sounds fantastic. And then when I say, okay, that's what I want to use for my P90s, but when I go over to pick up my Jag Master Blaster Caster thing about Bob with the Brandon Wound Telecaster pickup in it, that I'll put the True North Tweed drive in front, and it's just like it warms it and thickens it up beautifully. So highly recommend playing around with some stacking with the Fez.
Will do.
Yes. Very exciting. How about nothing really matters after that now, does it?
Wow.
Number 3.
Number 3 is just your off-the-shelf Phase 90.
Is that a newer one or an older one?
It's new. I bought it brand new on Sweetwater plug, and I can't tell the difference between too many of them. I've had 3, and I keep selling them, and I keep rebuying them.
Why?
It's one of those things, you get over it, and then you sell it, and you're like, why did I do that when I could have just put it on the shelf?
Yeah.
And you rebuy it.
I kind of feel like they occupy a similar space in the guitarosphere as Crybabies.
I can see that, yes.
So how many of us have bought a Crybaby, sold it, bought a Crybaby, sold it, bought a Crybaby, sold it? And the funny thing is, they never, ever change in price. They're always $50.
Exactly.
Used, yep.
Yep, used, $50, easy, some 40. And the same thing with the Phase 90s. I feel like I see a ton of those. And yeah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And you use that a lot, or do you use that?
I use it kind of, I'm not really a solo guy, but if it would be a solo part, I would use that as a little bit of a boost. And I have the rate turned almost all the way down.
Oh, okay, interesting. So it
adds
just
some
gives it a little bit of color.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I don't think we've had anybody mention using their Phase 90 like that.
It just it wakens up whatever you're playing a little bit and gives it enough of a warble that you notice it, but it doesn't affect anything.
Yeah, I like doing that with vibe pedals. Just run it just so it's barely noticeable, but it just kind of gives it a little bit of nice, non-perfect wash.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. How about number 4?
Number 4 is the tried and true Line 6 DL4.
Wow, okay. Do you utilize the full extent of that pedal, or are you just kind of like...
Well, I'm not that good, but yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the presets and having a looper. It comes in handy between songs to make ambient messes of noise.
Now, if you want to get really funky with that, you can send it over to AWOL and have them color it like pink or something like that.
I know. I should.
That'd be pretty fun. I mean, if somebody's doing that and they're getting really good at it, it's like, why not,
Yeah, maybe I'll get it black with white polka dots to match the guitar.
Yeah,
there you go.
There we go.
All right, Tommy, that was a great 4 on the floor. Thank you for sharing.
That was righteous.
Righteous.
Yes, mighty, mighty good. We always love hearing new things and new ways that people are doing things with their favorite pedals. So thank you.
Yes, it was very 2007.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, but that's a board through the ages right there. Like you could have picked that up in about 4 different decades and be like, oh yeah, not bad.
Especially the MXR 90.
All right, let's find out what makes Tommy tick. I just came up with that. Tommy is, as I mentioned before, he's a great supporter of our show. He is a great supporter of the guitar community and a lover of rock and roll music, as the kids call it on the street.
That's what the young ones say.
Yes. I believe we connected actually a long time ago, maybe inadvertently over, I think you were wearing a Nameless Ghoul costume.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, ooh, yeah. And then I was like, oh, wait, that's the... I didn't even know. I just was responding. Yeah. So it was like a Halloween. So Nameless Ghouls are the guitar players for Ghost.
Uh-huh.
For those who aren't aware, like Rob, who's like, it's like, I don't know.
Yep, have no idea.
He's over here polishing his New Balance 64s.
Take your shoes off, Rob.
Hey, he's got to get the grass
I'm
things
considerate.
Anyways, I really appreciated that because I think that's one of the cooler things in rock and guitar these days. So, Tommy, you have chosen to be involved in our personal, very small universe up at the penthouse in the orange LED colored personal jacuzzi.
That is correct.
With the Veuve Clicquot on tap. And that's a champagne, Rob.
Yeah. No idea.
So
you've got a lot of useless information up there.
Oh,
Tommy.
you have no idea.
Dear God.
Yeah. Oh, we honestly, we really do need to do a trivia night because I think we'd kill it. So, anyways, back to you, Tommy.
Sure. Let's focus on me for a second.
So tell us how. Like, what was the bug that bit your rock and roll hiney?
Let's see.
Was it a deer tick?
Yes, and it hurt. Man, I was probably 12, 13 years old, and I was staying. I mean, I listened to we've always had music in the house growing up. Always listened to music. My dad was a musician. But I remember, I guess my fondest memory of really going, wow, this is cool, was I was spending a week with my aunt, and we were in her car, and she put in a Cheap Trick tape. And ever since then, Cheap Trick's been my favorite band.
Caveman response.
Cheap Trick.
Good. Paid horse.
Good music. But I would say that that experience was probably what got me to really go, oh, okay, this is different and fun.
Do you remember which Cheap Trick it was?
I want to say it was the Busted album. So early 90s, maybe?
Yeah,
that's a later one.
Yeah, that's a later one.
Yeah, it was a later one. It was a current one at the time.
Is that the one with the flame?
No, that would have been in the 80s, the flame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't remember.
All right. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
carry on.
Okay, and that was it. I mean, that was my first recollection of I'm gonna pick my music from here on out, I guess.
Was it Xander's soaring vocals or?
Well, how could it not be?
Yes.
Coming out of a tape deck, yeah, probably it was the vocals and just the not at the time the bass of Tom Peterson, but just the whole energy level probably just picked me up a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's kind of when everything was starting to get really like smooth and kind of mushed together. It wasn't as articulated as the earlier stuff.
Right.
Tony, is that, Tommy, either one of you guys, is that?
I mean, I guess that's a fair assessment. I mean,
But everything was at that at that time.
Yes.
So
yeah.
volume wars and just kind of smashing everything together a bit.
Right.
I'm guessing. Anyways, is Rick one of your early, like, real major influences, or?
Absolutely. And at the time, being young and not even playing guitar, it was basically just off of his, to use the proper word, his stage presence and charisma, just to be so outlandish.
Yeah, for sure. Southern Girls is my tune, man. Oh, gosh, I love that song.
It's not a bad one.
That's one of the best driving songs out there. Okay, so you get bit by the early bug with a very late Cheap Trick entry. But so you're off and running. At what point did you say, okay, I need one of those things that Rick is playing?
Probably age 16.
That sounds about right.
That would be Green Day era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green Day. It was I checked out. I mean, I was into Guns N' Roses and all of the hair metal. I was young, but we had MTV and stay up late and watch it, and that was it.
Is it true they used to show music videos on that?
It actually is, and I can vouch for it.
Yes.
I can vouch. The glory days.
Indeed. So you get into some Green Day action, and what's your first guitar that you purchased?
First guitar was a friend of mine gave me like a Squier Telly. Probably, I guess it would be mid-90s. Nothing fancy. It was set up horribly, and it was really difficult to play, and I didn't know how to do any of it. So it didn't last long.
The guitar, or you're playing?
Me playing.
So you got discouraged and quit?
I got super discouraged and quit. I wasn't taking lessons. It was a little bit of my dad was showing me stuff, but you don't want to listen to your dad when you're a preteen.
Yeah.
And early teens, and I just kind of gave it up, and I didn't go back until late 20s.
Wow, that's kind of a stretch.
That's
usually people have either just stopped completely or.
It is a huge stretch.
So what was the second trigger?
The second trigger was I had finished college, moved to a new town, went to a bar, met some people at the bar, hit it off really well, and they said, "Oh, sorry, we got to go. We're playing next." And I was like, "Oh, great. Well, let's see what that is." And ever since then, that got the bug back.
That's cool. Man, live music will do it to you for sure. Good
Absolutely.
live music. And sometimes bad live music. So you get the bug, you start playing, you just got a Buddy Guy Stratocaster. Fill us in on the middle.
That's a weird one. Okay, the middle is I had to self-taught, I guess would be the best way to say it. I'm self-taught, play by ear. Don't ask me what key we're in. Very, I guess, Jay Mascis style.
The key of rock and roll.
Yes, and
That's what I
purchased.
played too.
My first guitar that I purchased myself was a Epiphone Les Paul because it was affordable. Didn't want to fully commit. Bought it, stuck with it. Taught myself some songs. Good old Ultimate Guitar early on websites, and found out that I was playing them wrong because the tabs aren't correct. But fortunately, I had friends now that were musicians and gave me a little bit of guidance, and once I got the proper guidance, the switch clicked and I figured it out, and started buying more gear than my talent could suffice, and here I am.
I think there's a big difference between saying, "Hey, I'm gonna, tinker around with my guitar at home," to really embracing and being active in the community and stuff.
True. Well, I was working just a regular, a job you would get in your mid-20s that wasn't degree related because I couldn't find a job in that degree. So I had a lot of free time. I was hanging out with these guys that were in a band. So started traveling with them on weekend runs. And, once you're kind of involved in that scene, whether you're on stage or just hanging out and helping, if you like it, it's kind of hard to deny it. And their music was enough to inspire me alone to want to maybe see if I could do that myself.
Certainly a motivating factor.
Yeah.
The minute you kind of get your toe dipped into the water, you're like, well, might as well jump in.
And I've been treading water ever since.
doggy paddling.
Yes.
Hey, Tommy, what amp are you using now, and what other amps do you have and have had that you like over the years, that kind of thing?
Okay. Currently, I'm using Supro Blackmagic Reverb.
Ah.
I have the head.
Did you get it before or after Todd?
I got the Blackmagic after Todd, but I got my Supro Statesman before I knew about the guitar knobs.
So who influenced who?
I guess I can't call you a copycat then.
Get out of there. And I've also had, I think my first real amp that I bought myself was one of the old Vox Night Train 50s.
Oh yeah, I've got one of
50?
those.
Yeah, it was
I
a
was
50.
going to say.
Yeah, Rob did some modifications on mine.
Did I?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, good. Mine
made
caught
it
on fire.
sound real good. Oh,
So I moved on from that
yeah,
one.
probably wise choice.
Yes.
And then I play through, I put the Blackmagic. I have a 1989 Marshall Tall Cab with 2 vintage 30s and 2 greenbacks and an X pattern on that bad boy. So it sounds really nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then I also have the Statesman on top of a cab that I built myself, a 212.
212. Good.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Nice.
Rob, regarding the Supros, do you get many mod requests or anything?
No.
Is there anything that you do with Supros?
No, I don't. I've never gotten a mod request, so I guess that's good in some way that a lot of people are just happy with them out of the box. I maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, I was seeing more of them. It's funny. I noticed trends that GC Guitar Center seems to buy in spurts, meaning that they support this company real heavy for 6 months, and then the stock kind of moves on to something else. So probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I was seeing quite a few Supros. I don't see many anymore, and I think that's direct correlation that GC doesn't buy into them as much anymore.
When you say you were seeing them, were you just
come through for little
Okay.
things, a noisy pod here or a failed tube, because new ones, tubes are what they are.
Yeah.
So somebody would buy one 2 months later, tube would fail, Super would send them to me. I'd have to break the news if it's after 90 days. Yeah, you're out of luck. But
Do you remember what tubes they use?
No, and I don't know if there is a particular.
I meant brand. I don't necessarily.
Yeah,
mean, okay.
no. It's the chances are it's not a particular brand. Most companies won't just use one brand.
Yeah.
They've decided that for our design we like this brand or reliability. Softex 6L6 is more reliable than this, and most companies change occasionally, once a year, once every 6 months. I'll order a replacement tube from somebody or call them and say, hey, what are you using currently? And it's changed. So,
Got it.
yep.
So for those who might be wondering, talking about the Supros real quick here, because Tommy and I both have the Blackmagic. So that comes with the power tubes are 6973, which is not a common one you hear
No.
thrown around.
Not at all.
It's magic.
It might be the magic. Rob, Guru to the Stars.
Guru to the star. Not at all.
Amp Guru to the Stars.
If that's you and Tony, then.
Well, I have a
Jared.
question. Did they do that to that tube to make it fit in a certain area, or did
Doubt it.
Well,
No,
it
there's
might
plenty.
be.
There's plenty of room under there.
It
Yeah.
might be a carryover from the original design of the Supras.
That's why I'm almost positive is because a lot of amps in that time, we've come to think of 6v6, EL84, 606, EL34 is the, well, those are the most popular tubes. I mean,
Standards,
95% of the tube amps currently being produced use those in the output section.
Yeah, but Ampegs used some
Well,
oddball
there we
stuff.
go. And that's what I was going to say. And really, the reason those have carried on is because the three big amp manufacturers over the past 40 years, Fender, Marshall, Vox.
Yeah.
Where, like you said, Ampeg used all kinds of oddball stuff, Supro, and then all those little bargain bin amps that were made by Valco. You know, all
the Dan Electros and the Silvertones.
Exactly. Those used all kinds of oddball stuff at the time because there used to be just thousands of different audio tubes. But yeah, so that I'm sure that's where it comes from. Is they've tried to keep a past circuit alive, and use those tubes.
So what can you tell us, if and anything, about the 6973?
So yeah,
which I'm very familiar with.
You didn't have a clue what was in your amp. You're like,
Tony said
made
they
out of
didn't
glass.
exist.
They
Well,
light up pretty. I don't
no.
know.
I
Come on,
prefer
give me
the
a little bit of-
6974s myself.
Yeah, whatever
it takes.
You guys. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, when you said 6973, I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but what it is. So I pulled up a data sheet on it.
And just for clarification, this is a guy who repairs hundreds of amps a
Millions.
year. Has put in thousands of tubes, and he's like, I don't know what this is.
All of the amps.
Okay, Donald.
Well, and it appears that I think there's only one current production even being made right now. Electro Harmonix is making one.
Oh,
Okay.
So it's definitely.
So Tommy, I think we better grab a couple
it's in the small percentage.
extra tubes.
Great.
But yeah, so what it is, at least from a quick look of the data sheet, it is very similar to an EL84 in size. It is a 9-pin miniature tube, so it's a smaller, like the base of a preamp tube, but a little taller, but it doesn't appear to be as tall as an EL84. Same type of construction. It's a beam pentode, I believe. Let me look here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, beam pentode. So yeah, it's an EL84 that the pin out is completely different on. And let me check the specs. Yeah, it's also 12 watts. Yeah, so it's a variation of an EL84 generally in its construction. Now, of course, it's a different tube, so it's going to have different characteristics. It might be chimier or more mid-push or more this or that.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to go to space and make us some, right?
Yeah.
No, he's only going to repair them.
That's right. I only want to repair them. Yeah, we're in negotiation with Elon right now.
Now, just out of curiosity, it has 4 12AX7s in it. But when we're referencing this kind of thing, when I mentioned that before, as we just quickly took a dive into like, hey, what's going on with this? That's like not something that's part of how you reference an amp. Like, well, what does it have in it? Oh, it's got 4 12AX7s, but that's not what we're talking about. So we're saying what kind of an amp is it? What kind of tubes does it have? It's got the 6973s in it. So why is that exactly?
I think
why do we do that?
more people refer to the power tubes when you're talking about
and not the preamp tubes.
Because it's almost a given that you're going to have either AX or ATs
There are
or
very,
AUs.
very, very few exceptions to that. And a lot of those oddball preamp tubes just they're not available. That's something I do is more on the bargain bin amps. You might have a tube. Something that escapes me right now.
Charity said doo-doo.
Yeah,
I heard that. I heard that.
There's there might be I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head that I've modified recently. I think it was a Magnatone I did that had a 6 blah 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 something in it, and I could find not NOS, actually just used old tubes.
New old stock.
Yeah, except they weren't new. So that's the problem, is
UOS.
that they were used. And they're $40 each or $50 each, and they're all microphonic. So with a little bit of change, I was able to swap it in for a different tube that's more readily available. But yeah, so to Tony's point, it's usually that most amps are 12AX7, 12AT7s, but
Yeah. But the one that we refer to is the thing that's giving it its character.
no.
6973.
nails it.
No.
So EL84.
If I swap EL84s for this tube, you could turn probably the tone knobs a quarter number or half number in any direction, and you'll get there.
Right.
There's not much difference.
Well, that's a very technical sort of recognition of that. But when we're talking about, like, oh, here's this amp. Well, what's it got in it?
Right.
It's sort of like you're referencing the engine. Like, the engine.
I think more people reference the output tubes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I think they do, and that's why I'm saying that they're wrong. If I took 4 different amps and lined them up with, same preamp but different output section, same speaker, same everything else, most people would not be able to pick which one is which. That they wouldn't be able to go, that's a 6L6 versus 6550 versus EL34, because all those are 25 to 30 watt tube. They're all very similar construction.
Right. My point is that it's not very different than saying, I got a small block or I got a Hemi. It's like they both go off the green, make the car go.
See now
it's just whatever your amp is, and that's like the heart of the amp.
Sort of not okay.
Okay, say it, man. Say it.
It's more the preamp. It's the preamp that determines what the sound of the amp is.
But nobody is referencing that. That's what I'm saying.
They're unfortunately wrong.
Aha. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Tony?
You're trying to make Rob controversial, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
I don't know.
I don't have to try.
And that's it. Yeah, when most people, a Fender sounds like a Fender because the layout of the circuit, the fact it goes through one gain stage to a tone circuit, through another it's the circuit itself that makes it sound like that.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
And the logo, of course. If you take the logo off,
and the grill
it sounds
cloth.
completely different. Yeah.
I think that's a good point, though, because we may be putting too much emphasis on, I only want an amp if it's got 6L6s.
Yes. And even more the guys that are like, I deal with this all the time where people go, oh, no, I had this brand tube Sovtex and they all suck. It's like, well, that's a stupid statement because I could put Sovtex in your amp. You'd plug into it. You'd probably look at me and go, oh, that thing sounds perfect. I love it. Sounds just like the JJ should. It's like, it's different tubes. You have
Sure.
People
that happens
people
with
hear
pickups
with
as
their
well.
exactly. Yeah, people hear with their eyes a lot of times.
Exactly.
Right?
Or taste with their eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like Tony's pointing at me. I'm subject to this.
I think everybody is to some degree. Yeah,
it's like when you're buying if you go and you try to buy a bottle of wine, it's like you don't know what that's going to taste like, and unless you have done a tremendous amount of research on the high art of intricacy and hidden factos in in the back of a wine label, you're going to be like, well, that looks like a pretty good tasting wine.
So on this week's sommelier podcast.
Exactly. That's the reason that those guys exist, because they know.
Is there a guest here that we've been talking to?
Well, he's got a Supro too, so we're commiserating, aren't we, Tommy?
I am involved in this.
How did we get down this road? What was the original question?
He's got a black magic. I got a black
weird tube.
What is the average airspeed of a swallow?
12.
Okay. Anyways, bunch of buzz kills.
Sorry about that.
Tommy, you're okay though, right?
I'm fine, long as everyone agrees that Supros are great.
Yeah, I dig the way they sound.
Yeah, I mean when the right people are playing them.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly,
somebody else in here.
I'm a nitpicker about a lot of things, but as far as amp goes, if it just sounds good to me, I don't care what's in it. I mean, if it sounds good, I'm going to use it. Period.
I would agree with that. I like my Supro also because that's all I was able to get.
Like it.
No, and now I like it.
Because you could have bought something else for the same price.
I played through your Supro.
Could have got yourself a PV Bandit.
Yeah, I could have.
No, Supro sounds good.
Yeah,
I played through it. It's
so
great
Tommy, if you could sort of have your wish of any amp, what would it be? Since we're just talking about amps right now.
Well, man, that's really tough because I'm very pleased with the Supro collection I've amassed.
Assume that has never been made, or actually assume that there's no 6973 tubes left in the whole wide world, and there are no more Supro amps. It doesn't exist.
We just rewire them for ELE4.
No, stop.
There we go.
Call me
Rob.
Now we know what it is.
As long as we know the pin output.
That's right.
Boy.
I got the data sheets now.
All right.
So.
Okay, I'll answer the question though.
Okay.
Let's see. Since I use a pedal board and I use drive pedals and fuzz pedals, I just need a basic good amp. It would probably just be a JCM 800 that doesn't catch on fire.
Nice.
Nice. I like it.
Okay, hold on. Get back up. What's with the qualifier there that doesn't catch on fire? Did you have
It sounds like you've had a problem with fires and amplifiers.
Right, in particular an 800.
Like I said earlier, I was around a lot of musicians early on, and I've seen a couple JCMs catch on fire, whether there was beer involved or not.
There we go.
But I've seen it.
You mean to put it out?
Yeah.
Sure.
Beer, lighter fluid, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, and for the record, any liquid and any amp is going to result in...
Yeah. I meant water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I meant water.
Yeah,
it was raining.
It's a conductor.
Yeah.
it's amazing, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
JCM.
So that's
Yeah.
easy, yeah. And now, a single channel 800, it's, $1,800. So
Right.
if you're going to get one, I'd get one quick because those prices keep going up and up and
Yeah.
up.
Those
Yeah.
are very popular.
Awesome. So Tommy, in the state that you're in the guitar world that you're in right now, like,
Yes.
I guess what are some of the things that are most exciting to you about where we are right now?
I would say the abundance of options as far as guitars go these days. I feel like you don't have to get a Fender or a Gibson, even though I have both. And you can be very, very pleased with something that's either more expensive or less expensive than either one of those options. I just recently picked up a guitar from I don't know how new they are, but I picked up a Belltone guitar.
Oh, I've
And-
not heard of a bell
It's a new
tone.
one, Tony.
Is that a hearing aid company?
It should be. I need
Advertising.
to
Wasn't
sponsor.
it a phone
ARP?
company? The phone company, wasn't it? Belltone?
Maybe
the
so.
Bell.
Pack Bell,
Yeah, wasn't it?
Ma Bell. Anyway.
Belltone is out of Miami.
Ah.
They make their own guitars. They're kind of a single cut, but no, they're not a single cut. I guess it would be. Oh goodness, it's off-shaped Les Paul, but not without the cutout. It's a strange Telly style necks. They do a lot of build your own on their website where you can just configure it the way you want it. They got a lot of pickup options, a lot of finish options. Pretty affordable, and I've been super pleased with it.
Nice.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah. And the guy that runs it is very, very open to communication and will blow up your email right back.
Nice.
Nice.
Communication's a big part of it, man.
It really is.
Oh yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
If you had an opportunity to spend a nice weekend with a guitar buddy, and you had to pick one of the guitar knobs, which one would it be?
That's not a.
Lord.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's not something you
You
should
don't have
probably
to answer that. Yeah.
I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna say the volume knob.
Yeah.
The volume knob.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Yeah. All right.
But he means me.
Yeah.
Oh, the loud one.
Yeah.
That's Tommy.
It has been a pleasure talking with you and just sort of hanging around the table and
Talking about super
jowling about cool guitar stuff.
Chewing on a nice piece of
Pleasure's
grass.
all mine.
Yeah. It really has been great, and I'm so glad that you're part of our guitar family and,
Yes.
and the greater community.
Yes.
We,
Absolutely.
we all
nice-
really
it was
appreciate
nice to be
you.
here. I hope we get pizza next time.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oreo pizza.
We're going to all meet up at Jared's house right now to have some Tostino's pizza rolls in
Great.
lieu of that, and do some something special here. Jared?
Ladies and gentlemen, come on down to Nashville to my house and let's play a little game of Would You Rather. This week's Would You Rather is from executive producer Trevor Gunberg. Trevor, thank you so much for sending this. And he says, hey man, here's my Would You Rather.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this in mind since I like pointy guitars. He's a pointy guitar lover.
Oh boy.
Let's say you have a sit-down gig, a small room,
Oh god.
and as you arrive, there you realize you left your guitar back at home. And you don't have enough time to go and get it before you go on. However, some buddies of yours is in a metal band and have come by to watch you play and happen to have their BC Rich guitars available for you to use for the gig. Awesome.
Yes.
So there's a Warlock, a Beast, and an Ironbird. Knowing that you need to sit down during the entire set, which pointy axe do you choose to use?
This is really crazy.
They're all equally weird, pointy, heavy metal-y, classic BC Rich guitars. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Tony, what are you doing? I know you're a big pointy guitar guy, too.
Oh, yeah. A lot more points, the better.
Then you win.
Okay. I think out of those three choices, I'm going to go with a Warlock because I think it's probably a design one that I'm the most familiar with. And I think it's probably, I guess that's one of the old original designs
Yeah.
that BC Rich
I
put
think
out.
that's the second round. The original was the one we probably can't say.
The bitch.
BICH.
It's called the bitch. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Rich Bitch and the Mockingbirds.
Yeah, the Mockingbirds came out right around then. And this.
And, honestly, if you're sitting down, it doesn't matter. You can just strap it and then shorten the strap so that, you're not resting it necessarily on your leg.
I'm gonna say I
whatever.
can kind of ruin it, but I've had a Warlock, and you sit on your leg. It's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the upper arm or whatever is big to reach around, but it sits across your leg. You know?
Okay. Well, then, So there it is. I'm
So there you go.
going with the Warlock.
Okay.
And I'm going to run through my Supro.
Yeah, you are. Let's see. Rob, how about yourself?
Same. Warlock.
Warlock.
Yeah, it's the traditional. The other ones to me are just I've never dug. And they're both
They
later.
approach silliness.
Well, and that's just it. And I think both of those probably came out. I'm doing math in my head here. Probably mid '90s when Class Axe owned them, and they were trying to revive the brand. So they came out with both of those. They came out with the Virgin and something else at the same time. But yeah. So anyway, I'm with you. It's a classic shape, and yep, Warlock.
Okay. Jared?
Not easy. To me, the Beast looks like as if you drew the Warlock on a piece of paper in pencil and then you somehow smeared it with your thumb.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go with the good old Warlock like everybody else, because I actually borrowed a Warlock from my buddy Cameron, and I never gave it back to him.
You still have it?
No, I don't know what happened to that guitar. It just got lost along the wayside over the years. But
I bet original ones are
not like
probably
losing
still
a pedal.
expensive.
it,
Dude, some of the old school.
it was not a USA made. I could tell you.
Well, that's what I say. Even the early Japanese rich stuff is worth money. Now, as anything old, right?
Yeah, and Japanese guitars.
Yeah,
are,
absolutely.
All right,
It's the guitars.
Tommy, what are you doing?
I'm trying to figure things out in my head here. We have a sit-down gig,
That's a sit-down gig.
and it's not acoustic.
It's not acoustic. Definitely not acoustic.
Hope not.
I don't
It's the
understand.
opposite.
Yeah, play a little James Taylor.
Okay,
Gordon Lightfoot.
if I'm gonna sit down and I've got to play a BC Rich, just give me the pointiest one you got. I guess I'll go with the Beast.
Okay.
I mean,
I
why
love
not?
that answer. I love
Now, here's the interesting thing. The Warlock has 8 points on the body. That's a lot of points.
But
The Beast has 8 points on the body.
yeah,
I personally am going with the Vox Teardrop.
Oh, you can't! You got 3 choices, and you still choose something off the board. Come on.
I have one.
I know, but anyways. So no, I'm going to go with the Ironbird. Because it's got a little bit more of an explorer shape, and it's got a wider
definitely
sort of
Yeah, I
knee
guess
area.
I could
I
see
could
that.
sit with that. That actually only has 5 points on it, but it looks like a piece of razor wire.
it
that
doubles
goes,
as a weapon. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that
Yeah.
looks very dangerous.
Yeah.
But I think that would actually be the most comfortable to play on a sit down gig.
It's like
a man after comfort.
You know,
Yeah.
if you look at close at, if you would cut off the upper horns, it's a V. It's an offset V.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little gumbied from there, but it's offset.
It
V,
looks like
a
what
Rhodes
happens
V.
when like you try to do 3D stuff on the computer and you do it wrong.
Right. You accidentally click on something and
I plotted that point wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah, they just call them the askew.
yes, exactly. So, anyways, that was a fun one, Trevor. Thank you for sending that. I suspect that he would choose the Warlock too.
You think so?
I'm willing to bet that. Yeah, it's because it's classic shape for that. All right, we are going to say thank you to several kind people. Tony?
Many kind people.
Yes.
Because at this time of the show, Todd, there's a special group of people that we like to thank.
Yep.
Who are they?
These are our executive producers.
Yay!
Now, Jared's probably wondering what's an executive producer.
Tell me, old buddy.
More importantly, how can he become one? Well, you don't have to become one because you're part of the podcast family already, Jared.
And I love it.
But if somebody out there is interested, go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs and check out some opportunities to sponsor, become a patron of this very podcast.
I love it.
Each level comes with its own bevy of thank you gifts and prizes. Things like t-shirts and barefoot buttons and picks and stickers and flashlights and
All kinds of stuff.
keychains. Oh my God, the list goes on and on and on. As an executive producer, you get all that great stuff. All the good stuff. Some great stuff. But there's one thing more. Rob, what is that?
You get your name right on the thing.
Your name read on the thing.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to do right now. So special thanks to these executive producers. Tom Brezen, Darren Gregory, Doug Christ, Michael Van Zant, Ken Sayers, Brian Robison, Michael Senchuk, Stefan Lamb, Anthony Lathrop, John Englund, Brad Partridge, John Estelle, Justin Jones, James White, Matt Hart, Bill Gola Guitars from Down Under, Richard Kendall, Tig Harmon, John Jackson, Jason Roush, Gary Cooper, Mark Garton, Elad Mizrahi, Mike D, Trevor Gunberg, Rick Calhoun, Anthony Gemalero, and John Halverson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
so
much.
very
But
much.
Todd,
Uh-huh.
there's another special group of executive producers.
I'm all ears,
Who
man.
are they?
We like to call them our Grand Poohbahs. These are the guys, they hang out. They've got their own personal jacuzzi hot tubs filled with orange Gatorade. They have special drinks that are provided. They wear a fez while listening to... Tommy, do you have your fez on?
My fez has been bronzed and put in a glass case.
Ooh,
I love it.
better.
All right, that's better. I'll give you a pass.
Way too heavy.
So a special thanks to these Grand Poohbahs. Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nigro, David Kaminga, Science of Sound, Cody Foster, Sean S., Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Tim Nowak, Tyler Rhines, James Pennington, LSJ Music Company, John Williams, Johnny Morales, Mel Sanders, Bob Crouch, Sam Jett, Michio Murakishi. Oh,
man.
Michio, I was so close. I'm so sorry. Martin Cliff. And we have a new Grand Poohbah.
Who is it?
His name is Hex Matos.
That's right. Hex Matos.
Wait.
What?
There's got to be a misspelling here.
Why?
I see one at the bottom of the list here. I think it's missing some letters. No? It's not?
What?
Huh? Tommi Manasco!
How
Hey,
can
that's
we
me.
forget about Tommi Manasco? Indeed. Thank you so very much. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Hex Matos. He's a a very, very talented guitar player who I met down here at a gig.
Oh, nice.
Not too long, about a week or two ago.
Is he a local guy or touring?
He's in Cleveland.
Okay.
He's in the Whiskey Daredevils.
Oh, yes.
And he's
Yes.
also he was also in the Bomb City Royals. Super good dude and a hell of a guitar player. So
Welcome
if you get
to
the
the family.
opportunity to see him playing, they tour all over the place. The Whiskey Daredevils. Make sure you catch them. Okay. So thanks to Hex for joining us.
Yes.
At the Grand Poohbah level, we're very excited about that. Thank you all for your support. It truly is the engine of our show, and we can't say thank you enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wind this up. We've had the joy of talking to Tommi Manasco. Tommy, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I had a blast.
Indeed. And congratulations on your newborn baby.
Thank you.
And all the goodness to you and yours. Where you want to point anybody to where you might be on the internets?
I mean, you can. You're going to see a bunch of pictures of a baby currently because that's what new fathers do. But it's official _grump _dad at Instagram. And that's about it. I have a little cab building company, but we're kind of in a limbo right now.
Wood's expensive.
Wood is expensive and time is very sparse currently.
Yes.
But it's Ominous Cabs on Instagram.
Ominous Cabs.
Did you name your baby Supro?
I didn't. I named him Villa.
Close enough.
Nice.
Close enough.
All right, Tanya,
Yes. Todd, yeah.
where can people find you?
Go over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the stuff I have available for sale that you can order. But, as I've said time and time again, I do mostly custom work. And shoot me an email. Let me know what you need, what you have in mind, what you want to change. And I will take good care of you.
Yeah, I'm going to need a back control plate in that gold sparkle for the new guitar that Chase is building me. Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff you can get from him, too. It doesn't have to be a pick guard.
Oh, yeah, I do
makes all
a
kinds of crazy
lot
stuff.
of covers. I do some truss rod covers and things like that.
I'm also going to get a pickup ring from you.
a pickup ring.
Yeah.
Tony,
Yes.
can you do a black pick guard with off-white polka dots?
Well, here's what we could probably do is I'd have to have some like vinyl circles cut.
Sure.
We'd do it on the back of clear and shoot the backside with like black lacquer.
I love it.
Sounds awesome.
So we could do that.
You already knew what to do.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's ready.
Rob, how about yourself?
Mad Cow Amplification at Instagram.
That's
Or
right.
on Instagram, I guess. Yeah.
It's so worth the follow. It's
Definitely.
I learn something every single time, and it's fun
Yeah,
to
that's
see
where
what
you
you
can
do.
watch me rant and.
Yes, he's the angry amp technician.
Yeah. I have one from today that will continue tomorrow.
Yeah. But seriously, if you need your amp taken care of to the highest level possible, make sure you give
he's the
Rob
guy.
a holler. Jared,
If anyone has any pickup questions and stuff like that, or you just want to do a shot or whatever, get a hold of me through the Guitar Knobs podcast and socials. Please message us.
yeah, that's right. You can shoot me an email. Shoot me an email. Todd at theguitarknobs.com. You could also DM me on Instagram at guitarknobs. I will handle anything sent to any of these clowns, as well as myself, also clown. We look forward to hearing from you. And also, I meant to mention this. Make sure you send us your questions for Rob. We're going to have a Ask Rob Anything show coming up, and I'm very excited about that. And everybody's got amp questions. We solved a couple today.
Oh, I'm coming up with some good ones.
I was gonna say.
I want to hear
Tony's
Tony.
Tony's probably making like fake accounts and.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
Questions.
Tony's thinking about arguing already. I can't wait.
I can't.
All right, everybody. Well, have a fantastic Guitar Week and subscribe. Arrgh. You're 6'7".
Okay.
Dig in. Dig in.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to dig.
They have rippled.
Tikka masala.
Yes.
They're good.
Oh dear God, are they good?
if you- Sorry, I blew that right at you, Rob. My bad.
Now I got COVID.
All right.
It's juicy.
Snickers.
Yeah.
Oreos.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oreos.
Go on, crack a smile. Come on.
Done the horseradish prime rib ones?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
It
one
tastes
yet.
like you're eating a horseradish prime rib with a baked potato. It's crazy.
And what is
It's
this?
a potato chip.
I like Oreos.
Oh man, that was a big burp. I was looking at Tony. Doggone it. I was
Good
looking
luck
at
with
Tony, thinking Tommy, and I feel like I'm replaying the the Siri. Boy, I'm a mess. The Cuban, get the Cuban sandwich.
I did have that.
I like
did,
that.
Did you sample them all in the?
I did.
Did you just go nuts in Kroger's
did.
or bags of
They
chips
were like,
everywhere?
Box
Like
of
an animal, he's just shoving them in his mouth.
I
I don't know what the equivalent is for that.
don't know. Well, let's skip it.
Let's get-
They got Memphis barbecue, Carolina barbecue.
it's you know, I bet you the
Okay.
Come on, dig in deep. Let me get a little bit of that. This.
this.
All right.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm gonna have to track down that steakhouse one.
Oh yeah, that's good, man. It's a late clapper,
Yes.
you
I'm
dirty
gonna start
rotten.
doing.
Hang on, Tommy. It's been little oysters, little oysters. Yeah.
Are you still recording?
Yes.
There is a slight difference. I did blindfold. Mark did the thing later on. There's definitely not a big difference, but there is an actual
What are we
teeny
talking
tiny
about?
slight different flavor between
Oreos.
the two. But they still
Oh,
both taste like
Oreos?
Oreo.
What Oreos
No,
are we
they
comparing?
taste
Golden
different.
compared to
Golden
chocolate.
versus the chocolate.
They're completely different.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's
they
not-
are not.
No, they are. They're totally different.
Yeah, that's not going to
Absolutely
taste
not.
the same.
There
totally
is a-
different. Siri, call Tommy, and then it's like, do you want to call Tony, Tammy, Cammy,
Well, you call Tony.
Bonnie?
You call Tony
Michael?
Tammy anyhow.
Jared, Elijah?
That hot oil that they sometimes bring out. Oh, it's so good.
I had some ginger to cleanse my palate.
What?
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.